you all are very familiar with this attraction right here, this Ride Rockit attraction. Yes, it was a different time in Universal's history right here. Initially they wanted a B&M coaster, very similar to maybe the Hulk or the Dueling Dragons coasters that they had at Islands of Adventure. But unfortunately, B&M wasn't available, nor was Intamin. So they settled for Mauer AG, I believe is what they're called.
Yeah, it's like a German thing.
That's one I haven't heard of. I was gonna guess Vekoma, but I'm like,
yeah, no,
not like a Vekoma either.
You wish it was Vekoma. No. Unfortunately, it was a little lesser known outfit, and lesser known probably for a reason. But Universal was attempting to install this coaster in order to balance out the crowds between this specific park, this being Universal Studios Florida, and Islands of Adventure, because Islands of Adventure was getting the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. And that would open in 2010. I don't believe Ride Rockit made it. I think it made it to 2011, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, they have had nothing but problems with this coaster since its opening. And so that's led to a lot of rumor and speculation, especially right now, that coaster might be going away. This article from Annie Wilson rumored Hollywood Ride Rockit would close permanently in 2025. This was a couple of months ago.
I'm sorry. I thought that ride was destroyed in the Sharknado.
Yes, exactly. Right. It might have been better for everybody involved. I'm harsh on this attraction for a reason. We'll get into it. But Katie Francis here. Rumor Intamin multi-launch roller coaster replacing Hollywood Ride Rockit. Why is this very relevant? Well, not just because this was published like 4 days ago, but Alicia Stella had this posted on her Twitter account. This right here. A notice of commencement was recently filed for work at Universal Studios Florida that shows roller coaster manufacturer Intamin as the contractor. This is separate from the one previously filed for maintenance building expansion happening at Hagrid's in Islands of Adventure. You can see right there, Intamin is listed. Intamin has been heavily speculated to be the manufacturer that will be making a coaster to replace Hollywood Ride Rockit. And why is Intamin highly speculated? Well, they're building a coaster right now in Universal Studios, just not Florida, but Hollywood, as we recently went over. And Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift is the speculated coaster to replace Hollywood Ride Rockit. Wizard, I'll let you have the first take on this because I know you've got to go very, very soon. What information do you know?
Well, yes, it seems like Hollywood Ride Rockit will be closing in, rumor has it, in January for the demolition of that coaster. Then Fast and Furious Orlando Drift will be zooming in there, the same type of controlled spinning that this is. And the entrance will probably be, relocated somewhere. So it could have been, some thought maybe it will be a Minions family coaster, but that was an option. But then they went with Fast and Furious Orlando Drift, meaning besides the studio tour, the coolest thing that Hollywood will have will soon be replicated, unfortunately. But it's okay because we have the studio tour and that can't be replicated. But Orlando Drift will open probably in like 2026 or 27 because unlike ours, this is very hilly. Orlando's, it's pretty flat. They just have to demolish the coaster, then build another one. I don't expect it to be themed too much. Like this one's not going to be themed too much. And I will probably go pretty fast. I don't know the layout or anything else about it, but I do know that it's likely that expect work to start pretty quickly on this one because everyone's going to Epic. They need something for people to come to the original two parks. So it should be pretty cool. Hopefully we'll have some, again, this one's pretty unique too, because Orlando's can't go under and over an escalator. So at least we have that going for us. And with that, by the way, ours is going to go 73 miles per hour. Theirs could go maybe 70 or 80 miles per hour. But what should we call it? And with that, I must go to my Thanksgiving family's dinner. I know we have 2 of them, so I got to get going. But thank you so much for having me on. And I'll be on as soon as possible. And I'll see you, Dr. Dre, next week.
Yes, I will be
Happy Thanksgiving.
I'll be in the California area.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much, Wizard. Getting back to our panel of guests here, though. Are you interested in seeing Ride Rockit replaced? Maybe perhaps Fast and Furious? Or is this...
Yes.
After the last time I wrote it, which wasn't very long ago, I can say, yes, I'd love to see it get replaced because let me tell you, I was scared the entire ride. This wasn't very long ago, and my harness wasn't on right. and I was scared for my
Okay.
freaking life because it
Ooh.
didn't feel like it was.
Nope.
It didn't feel like it was locked in place, and I'm like grabbing on, like holding on for dear life, making sure like. Am I strong enough to maybe hold on if I flip? I'm like going 60 miles an hour or whatever. It's a scary enough ride as it is. It may not have built by B&M, but I'm telling you, if you eat the wrong thing before this, you will definitely be forced to have a BM afterwards.
Oh, no.
It'll right out of you, because or it'll come the other way. Let me tell you, this thing is.
Man.
It's,
Well,
yeah, the rip. Let me tell you, the rip is very accurate. You will rip it after this.
as insane as that information is there, Ron. Erika, you were squeamish there for a second. You a big fan of coasters? Maybe this one.
So I am a huge fan of them in terms of looking at them, how they're engineered, put together. I think they're pieces of art. I can't ride a lot of them because I do have a fear of most of them. I've actually woken up in sweats and I've had nightmares of me where my harness has come undone on coasters and I'm like hanging on while I don't know why it's weird.
Because it feels like
can
it can
tell you where
happen.
that
That's
comes
why.
from. I don't know. I'll go on B&M seems to be my go-to, especially their inverts. If it's a launch coaster, I've only just now gotten to where I can handle Cheetah Hunt over at Busch Gardens. You still can't pay me to go on Terran, and that's an Intamin. And a lot of the Intamin coasters, I really, really have just fundamental problem with being harnessed in just from your waist down. If I'm not harnessed in from my shoulders, so I got something to grip like this, I'm not comfortable. I feel like I'm going to flip out of my seat. I don't like that sensation, like I'm going to flip out of my seat in any capacity.
You
So
don't want to ride
and it's not
Mako.
because they look so much fun is the thing, but I cannot get past the how you're secured, and because I don't see myself being secured in the seats. Now this coaster, isn't this the manufacturer also makes Smiler over at Alton Towers in the UK?
Let me go ahead and double check on that.
Because they have had issues with that coaster since
Big
it has
issues.
been built. Yeah,
Isn't that the
I
same
hear
ride
it.
where
Smiler
someone
for
had to
sure.
lose a leg after that ride?
Yeah.
I
That was
don't
a
know.
horrible incident. Yeah, there were
Not
amputations.
heard of that one, but
take
I know
place.
they've had issues. It breaks down a lot. And that was when I was willing to try because I like loops. I like corkscrews but once I heard from it was Theme Park Worldwide because we've been following them for years. I mean years. Now I understand if they're the same company, then yeah, it's probably time for this one to go. If it's made by the same people, we can go with Intamin, who's a little bit more trusted, bigger name.
Yeah, a little bit. Intamin has had its problems in the past. Not really recently though, which is quite nice. Gerstlauer was the producer of
Yeah.
the Smiler there. Yeah, that's a really bad incident. But this has had incidents too. In fact, this vertical launch system that you're seeing right here, this vertical lift, you can see it's 9 degrees. The trains there in this photo, you can see they're cresting the lift hill there. That has gotten stuck, I believe, multiple times. And
Yeah, no, I
there's
can't.
not a great way to unstick them. In fact, I believe the last time it happened, it was a multi-hours rescue operation, all detailed, by the way, so well in Ultra Orion's Problematic Coaster series video. This one specifically talking about Ride Rockit itself. It's 48 minutes, but trust me, folks, you'll get through it pretty quick. He produces some excellent content. Nolan, your history with this ride, are you looking forward to maybe its replacement?
Well, I want to get at least one chance to try this thing out because my past 2 Universal trips, I actually have never been on this thing. You think with being a bit of a coaster guy, like I'd be all over trying this ride once, but even last time I was at Universal for Halloween Horror Nights, like it just was not a priority. It was a pretty full day and I had an opportunity to ride at the very end, but I was dead tired. I'm like, You know, it's honestly, even if I missed out of it on it before because at the time, you know, it was rumored that it was going to be taken down. And I was like, you know, I'm okay. I've been on better roller coasters here. And honestly, I mean, it's got a very interesting design, but compared to a lot of other coasters out there and other attractions at Universal, it does very little to wow you, at least in my opinion. If it does get replaced, I really hope they choose and elect not to go with the Fast and Furious theming, because at Orlando, you already got the Fast and the Furious ride, which kind of gives you a fix of that. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to maybe they could follow maybe a similar template, but maybe do like a different kind of theming, kind of like Tower of Terror is, you know, compared to the one in California, compared to the one in Florida. I think it'd be cool if they could kind of dig into their IP a bit, be like, hey, what can we do here? We know Intamin is a very competent roller coaster manufacturer. Well, not as far as maintenance issues, but as far as safety, we know they're pretty good. I don't think we'll see Ron
Maintenance and
out of the
uptime
seat,
is definitely an issue.
so I think we'll be okay with that. I'll be very curious to see what happens. I'll try to see if I can get one more chance to ride it when Epic Universe opens here next year. I would love an opportunity, but I think with all the safety concerns, the lackluster reception, I feel like this ride has kind of dug its own grave. And it's kind of a shame because, I mean, this came out at the same time as Harry Potter, which was a phenomenon for theme parks. So I don't know what happened here.
It was cool when it first came out, you know, but
Yeah.
it is, the ride experience of it is, it's pretty good when it works. It's just scary as heck. Definitely, if you go on it, try to go on it at night. It's another one of those rides that's just like way cooler at night. But I like the way, and you don't see it in this part of it. You had to go like further down to the end. I kind of like the way that it wraps through the New York cityscape area that they have. So I hope that whatever they replace it with does something similar, and I can see why they would be going with Fast and Furious if they do that, because that kind of makes sense that they'll that they would have it. Theming wise, it actually makes better sense than this, going through the, like, you know, having cars or something that looks like that on a roller coaster ripping through the New York cityscape area would be cool.
Yeah, here I can show you a photo of what that looks like. There you go. This being somebody's thumbnail, but you can kind of see the effect that Ron was describing right there. What's interesting about this? Well, a couple things. One, we talk about uptime. Uptime for Ride Rockit, it's one of the worst at Universal Studios. Even, I mean, it's on par with Hagrid in terms of the amount of uptime that this thing has. I think even less now, because Hagrid's, I think, has gotten a lot more consistent since it initially opened. This is always constantly down. Part of that is due to the wind that takes it down. Other things have to do with the nonstop load-unload system that they have implemented here. Also, too, when it began, it was, I think, 5 tracks per genre. So the idea for Ride Rockit is you get to pick the music that you want for this specific coaster, and you have like a screen that's embedded into your lap rest, and you can pick from the songs on that screen. Well, they've reduced it from 5 per genre now to just like 1 song per genre, which is really kind of sad. So it's just all of these things have made this a very problematic coaster, as El Toro Ryan beautifully points out. And I think it is time. The maintenance costs for this, I've heard, are exorbitant. They're very, very high, especially given how the throughput of a coaster like this, and the satisfaction surveys aren't the highest. It's a little rough around the edges now.
It's right there in the thumbnail. Bad coaster review.
Yes.
That's true.
That's a good point.
Well, and the thing, yeah. The load sucks. The way it's very cumbersome, and it's not smooth, and it's not like in, out, gone. It almost seems like it sometimes takes 5 minutes and I know it doesn't take that long, but it just seems like when you're there, you know, if it's taking 2 or 3 or 4 minutes, it just seems like a long time load in and load out. So
yeah, it's just,
I feel like it's going to be pretty soon here living up to its name, because it's Ride Rockit. So R.I.P. Ride Rockit.
Yes.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. for sure. One last note about this Fast and Furious coaster, by the way, that I wanted to mention. Wizard did mention it, controlled spin. Imagine Guardians of the Galaxy. Multi-launch, right? By Intamin with inversions. That's kind of what you're getting here with Fast and Furious. It's very, very cool. Very ambitious. It's tech that Intamin's never really done before. So we're all very much anticipating how this will work in Universal Studios Hollywood. I think Universal knows, though, they have a real winner on their hands, which is why it might be coming to a theme park near you, if you're in Florida, that is. So, pretty cool stuff. That was a highlight from our live stream on That Park Place Podcasts online, where the full stream can be found at the link in the description. But what about you? What did you think about this very intriguing and fascinating story? Please let us know in the comments below. Like this video if you did like this video. Share us out, as it helps us out tremendously against the YouTube algorithm. And thank you so much for watching. T3, BO. Please comment, like, and share this video. And don't forget to subscribe to That Park Place Podcasts online, your source for exclusive content and highlights from WDW Pro, The Pro Show, and That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.